Welcome back to Cap Review. So Virginia and West Virginia are sending National Guard troops to the border. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin is sending 100 soldiers and other resources, while West Virginia Governor Jim Justice is sending 50. The plan is that they'll be stationed there for a total of 30 days. Now, this deployment comes at the request of Texas Governor Gregg Abbott, who asked for help to handle fentanyl smuggling and human trafficking. Now, Abbott asked for the aid after the end of Title 42, which allowed the U.S. to keep migrants from coming through to avoid the spread of COVID-19. Now, meanwhile, one Democratic Virginia state senator says sending troops to the border makes his state look bad. Our contributor Mark Hall has more with Virginia State Senator Scott Surovell.
Virginia State Senator Scott Surovell, welcome back to Capitol Review. Let's get right to it. A lot of folks want to know, where do you stand on Governor Youngkin sending the Commonwealth's National Guard to the border?
Well, I'm not happy about it. I believe my caucus isn't happy about it. A lot of us feel like this is just a political stunt to try to ingratiate himself to the Republican presidential primary base. It's really not a useful tool to try to address what he's really claims to be going after. It's really just a PR stunt, and our National Guard in Virginia deserves better than that.
Do you think, Senator, that this is not the right move for Virginia and Virginians?
No, people sign up for the Virginia National Guard to deal with problems in Virginia, or problems at least relatively close in Virginia. They don't sign up to be taken away from their jobs and their families to go down and patrol the Mexican border in Texas. They don't sign up to be used as political pawns. They're mainly supposed to be used for things like civil disturbances. And I just don't think that this is the right move for the National Guard. It's not what they're supposed to be used for.
Do you think it's Virginians who have to flip the bill for this, or do you think Texas is going to provide the funding to bring your troops down? How's this going to work, or is it too soon to know?
No, the governor's office has confirmed that Virginia taxpayers are going to pay about $3.1 million per month that these 100 National Guard officers are down there. And the deployment is extendable. The governor hasn't indicated whether it's only a 30-day deployment or it's going to be longer than this. But the governor's office says it's $3.1 million a month.
You're talking about $3.1 million, Senator. I'm sure that your colleagues, even on the other side of the aisle, could probably find better use for that kind of money. I mean, where could that money have gone to maybe help Virginians?
Well, I think if the governor truly wanted to deal with the fentanyl problem, all the studies that have to do with criminal justice and deterring crime say that the best way you deter crime is you make sure people get caught, and once they get caught, they get punished. So it's the risk of getting caught and that the certainty of punishment. And it seems to me that $3 million ought to be better spent on enforcing the law in Virginia. We probably need a state police unit that's focused on fentanyl. We probably need units in some of our larger departments around the state that are focused on fentanyl. We also need to put more money into rehabilitation so that we can deal with the demand side of the problem and not just the supply side of the problem. These are problems in Virginia that our Virginia money could be spent fixing in Virginia instead of sending money down to Texas for some PR stunt for a presidential campaign.
And as you know, Senator, many governors who support sending assistance down to the border say that that every state now is a border state. How do you react to that?
I think there's been a lot of PR grandstanding that's been going on about immigration for years, and I think there's now a move to try to conflate fentanyl with immigration for some reason. I mean, I think these people who are desperate to leave their countries carrying jugs across the desert don't have their pockets full of fentanyl. Fentanyl is coming in through our ports of entry. It's coming in on 18-wheelers and shipping containers. It's not coming in the pockets of immigrants. And I think trying to link the two might have some political value for the people that are trying to connect the two. But I think the two are totally unconnected. And this problem, it's not a problem. The immigration problem, at least, I should say, is not a problem for the entire country or every state. Fentanyl certainly is. And I think there are things we need to do about fentanyl, but this is not the solution.
Virginia State Senator Scott Surovell, thank you so very much for your time.
Happy to be on. Thank you for having me.